Tonight on The Rundown. Black Panther is finally here and shattering world records. I'll give you my thoughts on the highly anticipated sequel. After the success of the Jeffrey Dahmer series, Netflix has realized that trauma sells and now has 2 more monster installments in the works. Celebrities and execs are leaving Twitter after Elon Musk's disastrous takeover. Is this the beginning of the end? Plus, actor Luke Evans doesn't believe that gay actors should only play gay roles. All that and more on The Rundown with your host, Chris Avalon.
Am I there? Am I on? I see black. I don't know if I'm live, but if I am, I can hear myself. Hello. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Rundown. I'm your host, Chris Avalon, and basically this is a show that comes on once a week where we just break down all the trending topics that's going on in the world, the US of A, and beyond. I know I'm feeling my this good old evening. Excuse me. Oh, so yeah, before we get started, I am drinking this American honey. Can you see the bottle? But this shit is good. It goes down smooth, child. I had to put that down. But yeah, please hold. Yeah, I'm drinking this straight. It's whiskey. You don't put a whole bunch of shit with it. I mean, you could put soda and things, but it's got that honey up in there and it just goes down, honey. It just goes down smooth down the throat. The throat, not the throat, the throat. But anyway. So, how y'all doing, everybody? Welcome, 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 welcome. We got a lot of topics to get to this good evening. So, thank you all that's tuning in. Be sure to click like, subscribe to this good old site. The more you like, it goes up on the algorithm. It definitely helps with the show. Just like all of you guys that sit and support my website, chrisavalon.com, which is a lot of where I pull a lot of these topics from that we're going to be talking about this evening. You liking and leaving comments and subscribing, it definitely helps with the algorithm and lets people know that this is definitely a show that you should be checking out if you want to know the celebrity of the week. So we have a lot of tea to get to. So we're going to talk about, there's been a lot of deaths because we weren't on last week. Oh, I just saw myself and then I didn't. Yeah, there's been a lot of celebrity deaths since, we last left off because we weren't on last week. I think we talked about Leslie Jordan. But yeah, there's been 3 more bodies that hit the damn floor since then. So we're going to talk about it because, Takeoff had his memorial yesterday. And then we lost Aaron Carter. And then yesterday, we lost, forgot Kevin Conroy, who, you know, best known for playing Batman in the animated series. He was a voiceover actor. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk a little bit about Aaron, as I said. We got some tea on Wendy Williams. We got some tea on people leaving Twitter. Like, Twitter has just been a hot ass mess since Elon Musk, you know, thought he was taking over, but in my opinion, he just fucking up the thing. Yeah, so we got a lot of Evans and this whole debate about only gay actors play gay roles. I thought about bringing this topic in because it was a huge debate over on Facebook, and I saw a lot of people was leaving comments. I was like, this is, and it was getting a lot of responses over on my website. So it's definitely like a topic we need to talk about. Plus, I got to give you an update on the Kim Zolciak foreclosure situation. She has responded. I'm going to give my thoughts. So yeah, let's get into these topics. But before we do, I should also let you know, next Thursday, I'm going to be kikiing with my girl Lindsay. We were texting back and forth earlier today. I know it's been crazy. Oh, happy birthday to Remy also, because his birthday was this past week. He and I were discussing some stuff, and I'm going to be on his Beat Face show this coming Thursday. So if y'all want a little more of the kikiing and the topics, basically what a lot of y'all got from Drinks and Drag, which is coming back, we just have to work out our schedules. You know, myself, Remy, and Lindsay. I mean, yeah, we all got to work out our schedules, and then we'll be back on probably most likely in 2023. So don't fret. Drinks and Drag is coming back. It's just on pause for a while. We're all doing our little things on the side, and you know, there's a lot of work stuff that's going on. So just bear with us. So without further ado, let's get into this tea, honey. So let's talk about Black Panther. So I was supposed to go see it next week because a friend of mine wound up getting tickets and was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get the tickets for next week. And of course I was like, excuse me, because first of all, this is a film that I understand, like, it's all about the seating and this, that, and the third, and you want to get good seats, which is why you get them shits the minute they hit the damn internet. But for me, I was just like, you know what, I can't wait till next week because I already know people gonna spoil stuff. I need to know, I need to be in the know, I need to be in the zeitgeist and in the moment before. I don't like waiting, first of all, for anything or anybody. I've been waiting too long. So I was like, I need to go see this movie. Just like I seen the first one open the weekend, I need to go see this one open the weekend. So I'm definitely going to go see it next week with my friends. But for the most part, I needed to kind of get this film. I needed to see for myself, you know, everything. Because this is a film I've been waiting for a long time. And I know, excuse me, Ryan Coogler had ideas and things and already had a script written before the, you know, the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman. So then when that happened, he had to go in and make some changes. And I think that a lot of the ideas that he initially had for the other film, the original already done script, is still in this movie. But I think what happened was he left those ideas still in there, but he had to rework everything because Chadwick Boseman was not able to do the film. So I actually like what they did with this movie. First of all, we got to start out like in the opening sequence. It kicks off where Shuri's trying to literally find a way to save her brother. I'm not going to go into spoilers on exactly what he dies from, but it's a given based on, if you saw the trailer and that big ceremony where you saw them all in the white and the coffin, the dancing, which is what a lot of Black people, if you're from New Orleans, if you're from Africa, it's all about celebrating life. When you go off to the afterlife, it's not about, oh, we need to sit and mourn and cry and this, that, and the third. So a lot of that was in this film. So I think it's not a secret that they, just like Chadwick Boseman died in real life, and you saw the memorials and this, that, and the trailer, that they pretty much killed him off. So I'm not going to spoil because if people haven't seen it yet how he dies, you can see that when you see the film. And there's that amount of, oh, I could have done what I could have done to save him. So there's that guilt that Shuri's dealing with, that she couldn't save her brother because she has all this technology in the world, that the ancestors have given her the ability to come up with those, come up with these ideas of trying to find ways to save people, but she couldn't save her own brother. And so I did like the celebration of Chadwick Boseman. And I did well up a little bit. Like, this is definitely a movie where you will, even the strongest person will end up feeling emotional. You'll start crying. This is definitely an emotional movie. And I have to say that I love what Ryan Coogler did in regards to the visuals, the slow-mo, the way he was just like, the way we saw it in regards of like the visuals of Chadwick and the, you know, and T'Challa, and celebrating Chadwick Boseman, who was an integral part of this film, and the cast loved him. And it's not something we could have just brushed over. I mean, it would have been easier to go and say, you know what, let's just recast. Let's just do like Andy, what was his name? Andy Whitfield, back from, remember when Spartacus, like he died from the same, I don't think it was the same kind of cancer, but he died of cancer. And when he died, they had to recast the role, which I guess kind of works because it's TV. However, I think it was different because it was this movie starting out the franchise. So I guess, I don't know, they just felt that they needed to honor him in some sort of way. And I felt like they did that. Now, after that, I did love like the opening. You know how like in the opening where you see Marvel and they show you all the different superheroes and this, that, and the other that's coming through the pictures and all that other stuff. I love the fact that in specifically in this film, it was just Chadwick Boseman and him in different states of T'Challa and Black Panther. So I did love that this was specifically just for him. So they definitely did the damn thing. And as I said, with honoring him. So I even loved the opening. Opening was the best part. So now we fast forward a year later. Queen Ramonda is basically running Wakanda. She's gone to the UN. Now, you know, from ever since they opened up Wakanda to the world, they're upset because she hasn't really been, I guess, fulfilling her end of the bargain, or as T'Challa's end of the bargain, where he opened it up and they were supposed to share vibranium with people. However, you know, when it comes to colonizers, when it's like, oh yeah, we're supposed to do trading, but no, we don't want to just trade. We want to steal your shit and then try to do what we can with it. But of course, they weren't having that. So the Dora Milaje got to step in, and you know, because now they're in this moment of weakness because they don't have a Black Panther. Now people are kind of pouncing in and trying to state claim of what is in Wakanda as in colonization. But of course, so now everybody's got to step up. It's like the Dora Milaje got to step up and other members of Wakanda have to step up. And I was kind of hoping we would get more of that, but I realized maybe that was cut down a bit because of, you know, the death of T'Challa. I did feel like at times the movie focused a little too much on the fact that Chadwick Boseman's character was no longer a part of this film because of what happened to the real life actor, which I think hindered the movie a bit. And I felt like they should have focused on tightening up things in the movie, because let's be clear, this movie was too damn long. No shade, but shade. It's like, this film was too damn long. I showed up at the theater because the movie was supposed to start at 10 o'clock when I went to the theater this morning. So I went and I saw the 10 a.m. show, got there at 9:30 because I was like, let me go to the bathroom, let me get ready, let me just like relax, because I went and saw it in Dolby Theater. Shout out to the Dolby Theater over at the AMC. Y'all definitely do the damn thing. Like, I felt every damn situation up in them reclining seats. But so I got there, you know, I was there from 9:30, did not leave the theater until about 1 in the afternoon. That is way too much time for my ass to be sitting and watch the movie. I felt like almost I was watching the 4-Hour Justice League. Like, it was literally like I was there for man long. So I needed them to, okay, now if you're gonna make this movie long, y'all need to tighten that film up a bit. And there were just scenarios in this movie that I felt like you've spent too much time on, and it could have been tightened up. Maybe 20 minutes could have been cut, or if you were gonna make it long, it should have been focused on some things. Like, there were certain problems I had with the lighting. Like the beat sequence looked a little too dark when we first see Namor. I'm gonna get to him in a minute. And there were scenarios where it was just like the special effects in certain situations kind of gave me the first Black Panther issues, where I have to say this, I hated that third act of Black Panther, the fight between Killmonger and Black Panther. That shit literally looked like something out of the damn computer that y'all just put together, like a little video game, and with the special effects was still like they were working on it. And I feel like that's been an overall problem, because we've been seeing way too many superhero movies, and you know, where there's so much special effects is involved that by the time the movie is ready to be released, you don't really put a lot of time and effort into making those special effects pristine. Because it's not enough special effects studios, but too many movies that need special effects, especially with the amount of work that's coming out. And we saw like there was an article that was done where a lot of these special effects teams feel like they're overworked and overwhelmed with the amount of work that they have to do with such a small group of people who are doing these effects. So there was a little problems with the special effects, but I don't think the action, in my opinion, this is the negatives a little bit. The action really stood out for me. Like, it was nothing that really wowed me. You're seeing one car chase a Soto, but I will say this. My favorite sequence that I liked in the movie was when Okoye, who, you know, my girl Denai Guerrero, you know, I live for her ever since she was on The Walking Dead. My favorite scene was when she went and she was fighting members of the Talokans, which are like the underwater people, which I know James Cameron about to be tight, because them people are like the blue people that he had with you know, Avatar, except I may be in the minority, but I hated Avatar. I did not like the first movie. I could give a damn about the sequel coming out and the third one and the fourth one y'all got in the work. I don't care about these damn blue people. Congratulations to you with all these special effects and all these little groundbreaking camera work and stuff that you're doing with this movie, but I've never really cared about that weak-ass script that you did with that first movie. And I really don't care about the second one. But y'all have at it. When y'all go in IMAX and Dolby and all these in 3D and 4K and all this other shit y'all gonna see that movie in, you go ahead and have at it. I will keep my ass home and wait till it come out on television or, you know, Netflix or whatever streaming service, and I'll watch it then. But I don't care. But anyway, bringing it back, he probably gonna be tight because the water people that was in this film, I won't say they were similar. I mean, the only thing that they had in common was that they were blue. But I did like the water effects that he was doing with the movie. And I did love the fight sequence that Okoye had with the Talokans on the bridge when they were trying to go after Riri Williams, aka Ironheart. Now, I am looking forward to the Ironheart series that they have coming out, because Shea Coulee about to be on there too. And I like the actress that played, you know, Ironheart, and I actually like the Riri Williams character, because a lot of people don't really know much about Riri Williams and Ironheart, but if you read the comics, you know, she is like the female black version of Iron Man, but she's a different, you know, her own little superhero. So she has a spinoff coming out on Disney Plus next year, I believe. But I actually like what they did with her in this film, although I didn't really particularly care for her suit. Y'all can work on that. Angela Bassett, I have to say, hands down, one of the best actresses of our time. I really think that we need to see more of her and stuff. I mean, what am I talking about? We see so much of Angela. Like, I watch her on 911. Anytime she's in a movie, I'm gonna watch her. You know, she will always be Bernadine from oh my God, Wait to Exhale. But you know, my favorite movie of Angela Bassett's, I don't know if many people have seen this movie, but I loved her in Strange Days. That is a film that I don't think enough people have seen. It is one of my favorite movies of hers. It's a science fiction mind F of a movie. Definitely check that out if y'all can. It's not even available on a streaming service or anywhere, but I do have it on DVD. So every now and again I do revisit it, but I just love that movie. Captain Bigelow directed that. You know, she's an underrated director, even though she did The Hurt Locker, but she's underrated with that. But yeah, Angela Bassett, her performance in this movie is Queen Ramonda. Pristine. I know a lot of people have been saying, I've been hearing rumblings that she may be up for an Oscar. I hope this is true, but to me, a lot of the scenes that she was in that we saw was pretty much in the commercials. So I don't know how that's going to work, but if they find the opportunity to actually get her out there as a Best Supporting Actress Oscar, I would definitely love her to win, because here's the thing. Angela Bassett is a damn good actress who has been slept on by Hollywood for far too damn long and deserves her damn flowers. So y'all need to give her an Oscar. I don't care how you give it to her. You never gave it to her when she played Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do With You, which she should have won the Oscar for that. But if you're not going to do that, give it for this one. Just like Whoopi Goldberg should have won for The Color Purple, but y'all wanted to give it to her for Ghost. I don't care. Just give her an Oscar. Okay, so now let's talk about Tenoch Huerta, Nikita, who actually plays Namor in the Tenoch Huerta. How I discovered him, he was in the last Purge movie. Had a big part in it, but this film was like his big debut, which is why I guess in the film it says introducing. he was definitely one of my favorite anti-heroes that I've seen out of the MCU in a long time. Because the villains can be pretty hit or miss with Marvel movies, but Tenoch definitely did the damn thing as Namor. I definitely love the fact and seeing like with all the cosplay, especially like with Comic-Con this year, how there was so many guys, gay guys especially. One of my friends, Miguel, did a great cosplay of Namor at Comic-Con this year. It was awesome at New York Comic Con. I've been seeing a lot of the cosplays, and I'm definitely certain Halloween next year and future Comic Con, even the LA one, because they didn't have it before then, but it was a New York one because it was closer to the time of Wakanda Forever coming out. So I could definitely see a lot more Latino, Mexicans. I'm sure we'll even see black guys, indigenous people, whatever, what have it. We'll probably even see white boys coming out as Namor. I mean, technically Namor is white if you look at the comics, but this is a different take and a different story done by Ryan Coogler. So we're definitely going to see a lot of people cosplaying this character. He definitely did the damn thing in there, and I love his backstory, and I love his reasoning for why he wanted to destroy all the people on land, all the colonizers, not necessarily Wakanda, although they do have their political conflicts. But I definitely thought he was a great anti-hero, and I hope we get to see more of him in the future. Now, this may seem like a spoiler, but I think everybody pretty much knows that Shuri becomes Black Panther in the film. Oh, yes. Look at these bloody yaddy. These are the pictures I had to send out earlier about, before we get to Shuri, and this. Let's just take a moment, child, and just bask in all this beauty. There's a couple other pictures, but when I'll let you know based on the photos that I sent, if I'll show you which one is my friend Miguel. But anyway, so in my opinion, Shuri should have become Black Panther sooner in the film. I felt like y'all waited way too late in the film for her to all of a sudden come to this point that, you know what, the people need a symbol. People need Black Panther. Therefore, somebody has to step up. And there's a pivotal moment in the film, but there's another shocking situation that happens to a character in the film that has Shuri stepping up to become Black Panther. I want to spoil it, but I'll let y'all see it when you all see the film. But her finally stepping up, I just felt like it was way too late in the film. It should have started at least a good hour in. Like, you already made the statements and this, that, and the third, but it should have been a point where it was like, okay, now I got to step up to the mantle and become Black Panther. But they waited literally to the third act for her to just step up and all of a sudden come into this thing. And it just felt rushed, in my opinion. But I did think she made a good Black Panther. And it's kind of obvious because she becomes Black Panther in the comics when, when her brother can no longer be Black Panther. She steps up to the plate. So I actually didn't mind that. And I love Lupita Nyong'o being in the film and seeing what she was up to. She's off in Haiti. She didn't come to T'Challa's funeral. Then we find out why she didn't show up at the funeral. And we find out in the post-credit scene, which, bitch, I gagged with that post-credit scene. And you know what? I may have to do a spoiler. So I'll let you all know when I put the spoiler. I don't think we showed any of the pictures of the girl. But anyway, I will, be like, spoiler alert, mute the thing, and then I'll wave my hands, and we have a spoiler alert sign, whatever the case. We'll put it up. But this is definitely a thing we need to discuss about that post-credit scene, because that post-credit scene gagged my ass, child. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the third one. But anyway, to wrap this up, should they have recast T'Challa? Like I said, I honestly think based on the post-credit scene, they will most likely recast T'Challa, which we're gonna get into in a minute. But I would say overall, this was one of the better Phase 4 movies, because honestly, I felt like it took me back to what I loved about the original phase of, Marvel, which was, it was telling a story, it was action, it was intrigue, it was, excuse me, the jokes were placed where they need to be placed, because so far, Phase 4, I've been disappointed with. I love Shang-Chi, did not particularly care for Eternals. I found that too damn boring and too long to get to the damn point. Hated. Hate is a strong word. Could not stand. Well, Doctor Strange, I was disappointed with. I don't like the fact that y'all made Wanda the villain. I'm like, y'all could have did better with that. And it just felt too much like a Sam Raimi movie than a Marvel movie. Hated Thor. Whatever the fuck the name of that last movie was. The jokes were terrible. I don't think Taika Waititi is funny. The jokes did not land for me. She-Hulk was cute, but it did not give me what I needed. It felt like y'all were trying to pounce too much on. And don't get me wrong, I'm a strong male. I love strong female characters. I have no problem with strong women on shit. In fact, I could watch a movie with women kicking ass all day. I've always been an advocate for seeing strong women on the big screen, the small screen, in superhero roles, in action roles, that sort of thing. Look, I'll even give you top 2 favorite female strong characters of all time. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley, and Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity. Those are like my all-time favorite top 2 female action stars, hands down. Oh, and then I'll throw in a third, the Bride from Kill Bill. So we'll throw her up in there too. Like that's she's top 3 chicks that I live for in regards of action movie roles. I could probably do a whole episode where we could just talk about like my favorite female action stars. Or, in those, and I live for Michelle Yeoh. Like I watch her all damn day. But for the most part, for this film, it was just like, but it felt like in this film with all the female-centric characters and stuff, with the women kind of like holding up Wakanda because Black Panther wasn't there. I felt like the women it felt right with the way they wrote the women in this film. The jokes landed where they needed to land. I was cackling at a lot of the jokes. I needed more M'Baku though. That's another thing too. Winston Duke, there wasn't enough M'Baku in this film. I wanted more of him. Hopefully we'll get him in the third one. But yeah, I felt like y'all just kind of like held M'Baku back a little bit. Now, but I have to say this is one of the best Phase 4 movies that I've seen in a while, and I hope they continue to keep that energy and figure out where the hell they're going. Now, let's talk about that post-credit scene. So I'm about to spoiler. Spoiler. Okay. So, post-credit scene, we find out that Nikita and T'Challa have a son named T'Challa Jr. And he looked about 8 or 9, might be 10, I don't know. So a lot of time has passed. So now I'm wondering, because they said Ramonda met him, Queen Ramonda. She did meet the son, but had to keep it a secret, kept him away from the whole family, that sort of thing. Wanted to keep him, like, let him live his life without having the pressures of the throne and this, that, and the third. So he and his mother have been living all discreetly off in Haiti. And Shuri meets the child at the end of, the film. So it's like a continuation, whatever. So she keeps it a secret. So that implies that, yes, most likely, young T'Challa will become the new Black Panther down the road. So we need to, hey, Sailor Mermaid. So we need to figure out, okay, so now I'm wondering, because this has been a lot of time passed, it seems, from that post-credit scene, when we get Black Panther 3, what's going to happen in regards to that? Like, will Shuri continue to be Black Panther, or are we going to have this kid become Black Panther in the third one, and he'll be much older when the next film comes around? Because they could they do time jumps on House of the Dragon. They done age people 4 times in 10 episodes in one season. So if y'all can do that, we could do that with, and then of course you could explain, well, how come the mama ain't aged? Black don't crack. That's why Black don't crack, and that's what we just go with. They got that good old Wakandan shea butter. So anyway, made with the finest vibranium. Purple. Anyway. So overall, it's a good movie. Not a perfect film. I get, based on the story that they told, based on the story they need to tell. But I feel like in the next film, because you pretty much got your bases covered, I'm pretty sure that they're going to figure out with the next direction, and it'll be we'll finally get a perfect Black Panther movie. So definitely go check this film out. It's definitely worth it. You will cry, you will laugh. It's a roller coaster ride. It's definitely something that everybody will enjoy, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Tenoch in future films. So Hollywood, don't sleep on him. Now let's get into this story regarding so many, it's been a lot of deaths this week. So, like I said, we lost Takeoff. I don't know if we're gonna find out who killed Takeoff. I know some people are saying there's an accident, but child, did you see that video of Jaguar Wright, where she was talking about how, what she said? Oh, that apparently because it was Jay Prince and his family, this, that, and the other, that she implied that basically he may have something to do with that death. I don't make the news, I just report it. So she was saying all of that, and I saw like they said no phones at the service, although I knew there was going to be somebody that was going to defy what was said, because I seen the videos on the Shade Room and Neighborhood Talk and all those other blogs on Instagram where you basically saw that Offset couldn't keep his composure. He basically couldn't speak up, so Cardi B said something. It was just a lot of people that were there to support him, and I saw like the videos of them cruising his body, the vehicle through the city and that sort of thing. So it was a lot of that going on. So shout out to Takeoff and his family. It's unfortunate somebody so young has been taken due to this damn senseless gun violence. This is stupid. And then we lost Nick Carter, his brother Aaron Carter, who died last Saturday at the age of 34. We saw that the next day in London, the Backstreet Boys paid tribute to Aaron, where you saw Nick getting emotional and he was crying. I know a lot of people are like, why didn't he take a day off? Unfortunately, I don't think in his situation, when you got a lot of dates already under your belt and you have to fulfill those dates, I don't think you can take a day off. I don't think you can stop performing. And you got to also realize that the Backstreet Boys comes from the same school that my generation comes through, because I am the generation of the Backstreet Boys. I am the generation of Pink, Beyonce, NSYNC, Britney Spears. That is my tribe. Those are the people that I came up with and I grew up with. And I had the pleasure of seeing and meeting back when I worked at VH1. So, well, Viacom, I should basically say, because MTV, VH1, they were all kind of together. Oh, speaking of which, did y'all hear that VH1 is now part of BET? It's no longer part of MTV. There's a whole shakeup happening with, Paramount and so many things changing and flipping and switching. Even in tech, we're going to get into that coming up too, because Elon Musk is a goddamn mess. But anyway, to this shit, or story, sorry. Nobody knows exactly what he died from. We know he's had substance abuse issues, the whole drug situation. They said they found cans, like air cans around his house, which means that he might have been huffing and taking prescription pills. That's a big addiction. People get opioid addictions and this, that, and the third. So there's been a lot of that. I'm just going to sit back and wait until the full autopsy comes out before I jump to any conclusion. But I'm sure what they're going to say is they found some sort of drugs in the system. There was some decomp. They said that was in the tub. The bathroom, so there was an odor, which means he was dead for a while. The water was a different color. So he was in that tub dead for probably a while. I don't know how many hours, but I'm sure when the autopsy's done, they'll pretty much put out there. But you want to know something? A lot of people don't give Aaron Carter his flowers. He had that Aaron's Party Come Get It. That was my jam back in the day. But I think a lot of people really don't give Aaron Carter his flowers, because even though the boy was troubled and he had a fucked up family, because remember that show House of Carters? That show was a mess. And it basically gave us the inside of like what he was dealing with his family dynamics and how he was fighting back with his brother. And remember the girl from The Dream, the group The Dream, that accused Nick of the R word? And that whole drama, he co-signed. Like, there was a whole drama situation. But I should point this out. Before Aaron died, or unalive, because, apparently you get struck and you say certain words on YouTube. Can't with this damn network and the goddamn algorithms. But anyway, so he did make amends with his brother. Like, they patched things up before he left us. At such a young age. So I'm glad that they mended fences and they worked things out. And what I was saying before, because I don't remember if I got to the point, is that when I'm from the generation of Backstreet Boys and all this stuff, there's no such thing as we got to take time to grieve. Oh my God, somebody's no longer with us. We have to grieve. Ooh, no, we don't do that. We work through it. And that was how I was when my grandmother passed. I continued to go to work because that's how I processed it. I think a lot of times we need to just push through and do what we need. I don't know. Some people say it's unhealthy to do such a thing, but for me, it's like anything. Overanalyze, and we tend to just wallow in what's going on in the drama. So you don't want to the hamster wheel just constantly turning your head like, oh my God, these things are happening, tragedy, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. I'm just glad that Aaron is finally gonna not have to deal with some stuff. So I do want to read this thing about what his brother said though. What Nick said, who's 42 by the way. So he said, even though my brother and I have had a complicated relationship, my love for him has never ever faded. I've always held onto the hope that he would someday want to walk a healthy path and eventually find the help that he so desperately needed. Nick went on to call addiction and mental illness the real villain in Aaron's passing, saying, sometimes we want to blame someone or something for a loss. I will miss my brother more than anyone will ever know. I love you, Chiz. Now you can finally have the peace you could never find here on earth. I love you, baby brother. And that was basically what Nick said to his brother Aaron. And I actually do hope that he finds the peace that he was able to find on earth. Because you know what? Sometimes our demons get the best of us. And I just really hope that, he's finally resting where he don't have to deal with being tortured and tormented and whatever those demons were that he's been dealing with, stemming most likely from his childhood, that he finally can just rest and does not have to deal with the crap anymore. And I think also people always seem to forget, you know what? If Aaron Carter didn't exist, there would be no damn Justin Bieber, because he was Justin Bieber before there was a Justin Bieber. So people need to get that boy his flowers. So shout out to you, Aaron, and good luck to the Carter family. Shout out to y'all. And last but certainly not least, we lost Kevin Conroy, who died at 66 from a long battle with cancer. He was best known for being the voice of Batman on Batman the Animated Series. He's done a ton of animated work. He was really good friends. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hilary Duff did post a tribute to him too, because I believe they dated. And Lindsay Lohan also said something as well, because they dated once upon he got around with a lot of those Disney girls and those Nickelodeon girls. Yeah, Aaron was popular amongst that set. So she basically said, I'm deeply sorry that life was so hard for you and that you had to struggle in front of the whole world. You had a charm that was, boy, did my teenage self love you deeply. Sending love to your family at this time. Rest easy. So that's from Miss Hilary Duff. Child, y'all just letting me relive my childhood again. But anyway, yeah. So I want to give a shout out to Kevin Conroy. And the only reason why I bring this up is because he was the only openly gay actor to play Batman. So that's why I basically wanted to bring that up. And, he had a husband. Nobody knew he was married, but he's survived by his husband and his two siblings, his sister and his brother. So shout out to Kevin. And, I know Mark Hamill, a lot of people in the animated world, he and Mark Hamill, legendary for playing Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars films. They were thick as thieves. They were like the best of friends. So I know he was deeply heartbroken. A lot of people in the animated world was saddened. A lot of people who grew up, like myself, watching Batman animated series. I even started rewatching it a couple of months ago. I don't know, for some reason, I'm like, because I got HBO Max, I wanted to start watching Batman again. So I've been watching a lot of Batman animated movies, TV shows, that sort of thing. Like, Batman is like one of my favorite superheroes anyway. So shout out to Kevin Conroy and all that good stuff. So now, moving right along, let's get into this Ryan Murphy and his obsession with torture. And so should we call it trauma porn? Because that's what it is at this point. So Netflix done paid Ryan Murphy $300 million to come up with some content for Netflix. And I have to say that a lot of it hasn't been hidden. Except recently when Monster became the second most watched show on Netflix, first being Stranger Things. So Stranger Things is number one, Monster Jeffrey Dahmer is number two. And, we've been talking a lot about Monster Jeffrey Dahmer's story. So that's why I felt compelled that I had to bring this up on the show. Because I'm like, yeah, we've been talking a lot about it. So might as well bring it up here, right? So, with Monster Jeffrey Dahmer's story becoming the second most watched series in the history of Netflix's existence, it should come as no surprise that the streaming service is hungry for more content regarding real-life serial killers. Now, Deadline is reporting that after the success of Dahmer, Netflix is expanding on their monster universe with 2 additional installments. And after the success of Murphy's and Glee co-creator Ian Brennan's other series, The Watcher, the latter series has been granted a second season. Now, Deadline is noting that neither move is a surprise given the rating success of both shows, particularly the outsized ratings of Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. First of all, that title is so stupid. Dahmer, Monster, like you basically say his name twice in the title. Nevertheless, regardless of the, Lifetime Movie of the Week title aside, the fact is the show is doing what it's doing. Now, I should say that Jeffrey Dahmer's story has reached 1 billion hours viewed in the coming weeks. Now, Netflix didn't reveal which serial killer stories they will cover, but they did say that they will tell the stories of other monstrous figures who have impacted society. Now, what I will say is that here's the thing. Now, I told y'all I watched Monster Jeffrey Dahmer's story. I only made up to episode 8. I couldn't finish it. I was just like, I'm over it. I got what I needed to get out of it. I understood the necessity for Jeffrey Dahmer for that story to be told simply because it was about a white guy who was going around particularly targeting queer men, black men in poor neighborhoods and in gay clubs, bus stops, you name it. He was targeting them, killing them, drugging them, eating them, you name it, he was doing it. And I felt like this story needed to be told, even though a lot of people was feeling why y'all doing it? I felt the story was necessary because we're in a day and age where, yes, gay men are still putting themselves in compromising positions where they're being hurt and stuff. The police are not taking crimes seriously regarding the LGBTQ community, men of color. So I did love that the systemic racism, the bias of the police for that story is being told. And of course, the glorification of serial killers, which in real life, there were funds set up where women were sending Jeffrey Dahmer money and this and the other. He was a celebrity to them. People were obsessed. We saw over this Halloween that there were mad people out here dressing their kids up as Jeffrey Dahmer, which has pissed a lot of people off. They were like, but y'all like that movie. It wouldn't have been, it's not about the movie. It's the fact that it's about warning people, the warning signs of, because a lot of people didn't even know the history of the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Like I've said that many a times, people were so oblivious and were not aware of what had happened 30 plus years ago regarding the Jeffrey Dahmer situation. A lot of people were not aware of it. I knew about it because I grew up in the 90s. As a kid, I heard the stories. I didn't know the ramifications. I didn't overall understand it. Like I said, we made jokes about, oh, he gonna eat you and this, that, and the third. Like we made that, but not computing and understanding what that was about. But for the most part, now it's like as you get older, then you start to learn. And yeah, there's been like 50 million damn Jeffrey Dahmer movies that's been put out. But for the most part, apparently trauma sells. And like I've been saying, like especially when it comes to when people of color, LGBTQ people, it seems like to be the overall theme. Like we just like to take trauma and make it profitable. And apparently it worked because now Netflix wants more. Now, who they're going to tell a story on, I have no idea. Maybe they could visit Richard Ramirez, who they briefly touched on in American Horror Story. You know, the season that Angelica Ross was on where they was like ripping on Friday the 13th. There was Richard Ramirez. I don't know why they placed him in that damn movie. It did not make sense for them to put him in that season. But they were trying to make sense of whatever. But if they want to tell that story in a full-length form, they can revisit that. Or they could tell stories about Ed Gein, or they could tell stories about, Charles Manson. I don't know. We'll see like where they direction want to go. But apparently people, look, for me personally, I've always been fascinated with serial killers. I've always been fascinated with social justice stuff or anything that has to do with criminal justice. Like I've always been interested in like understanding the mind. Like the show Mindhunter, which I'm so bad. The getting into the mindset of why people do what they do. I've always been fascinated with why people do the crazy things that they do, like trying to understand humans and human behavior, that sort of thing. I've always been into that sort of stuff. So I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it. Now, as far as The Watcher, I thought that show was overrated. I did not like it. I thought there was a lot of situations where it was just full-on camp. It got stupid for me, like every typical Ryan Murphy project starts out one way. Then I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? Like, this is getting dumb. And that's what I kind of like felt that they were going with the show. Fell asleep on the finale, and I don't even care enough to revisit it. Now my favorite show right now on Netflix is Warrior Nun, because season 2 just came out. So for the most part, I don't know. We'll see. I was also thinking about this, because I just finished earlier today. I watched the latest 2 episodes of American Horror Story. Is Ryan Murphy, with all the stuff he's coming up with, worth the $300 million that Netflix is giving him? Because I'm watching this season of American Horror Story, where they got the gays being chased around by a killer in New York and Fire Island. Is it given what needs to be given? I don't think so. I don't know what the hell is going on with this show. I don't understand what's happening with these characters. And I'm at a point of like, does a show like American Horror Story hold the same cultural impact as it once did? Because remember back in the day when we used to watch American Horror Story, when we had Cult and Balenciaga, like that was a viral moment. This show is not giving me that anymore. Like, I don't know. Are there memes and stuff and GIFs and stuff being made with this show, with the new season of American Horror Story? I don't see them. I just see a lot of people bitching about how stupid this season is, but they can't stop watching. Kind of like me. Like, this show is so ridiculous. I don't know what the hell where we're going with these topics or what's happening, but I can't stop watching. It's like watching a train wreck. Or like a car crash, and I'm driving by and I can't stop and just turn and look. So that's what I feel like when I'm watching this season. So I'm just sticking out. I think if it wasn't gays involved, and this story wasn't around the queer community and gay men, I think I would have bailed on this season like on the previous season a long time ago. But anyway, good luck to you, Ryan Murphy, and we'll see if apparently people want more killing on the Netflix. People want more trauma. Trauma porn. So they just giving the people what they want. Can't get mad at Netflix for that. Unless y'all just stop watching. Because, they could be quick to cancel Selling Tampa. Then maybe if y'all stop watching this shit, they'll stop supporting it. That type of content. Okay, so with EGOT, I'm sure y'all probably watched The View. Not this week, but a week ago. I think it was on a Monday, where EGOT recipient and The View moderator, Whoopi Goldberg, announced that she is quitting Twitter. Now, she said, it's been, what is it, like a good 2-3 weeks since Elon Musk took over Twitter? And she said, basically, the place is a mess. She says, I'm getting off today because I feel like it's so messy and I'm tired of now having certain kinds of attitudes blocked. Now get out, and if it's settled down enough, I feel more comfortable, maybe I'll come back. But as of tonight, I'm done with Twitter. I also believe Gigi Hadid quit. There's a lot of celebrities who were just like, you know what, I'm done. And it has been a mess. I feel like Elon thought with his ego, free speech, but you didn't think about the consequence of that free speech. And I saw the minute they heard that Elon Musk was officially taking over Twitter, it was sort of like, oh, so now the racism stuff started to flourish. It started to go up at an all-time high. And people were just like, oh, so does that mean that I can come on and say the N-word? And people were so white, these clear people, they were so quick to want to drop that N-bomb. And thinking that Elon Musk, who was an apartheid South African, by the way, was like, oh yeah, he wouldn't have no problem with y'all saying it. Which, in my opinion, I don't think he would. Sidebar. Is Elon Musk on the spectrum? Because he give me autism tease. And no shade to the autism community, but he give me like, child, we need to throw him on the back of the short bus with the helmet. Like, that's what he gives me. No shade, but shade. But shout out to Whoopi. To me, Whoopi Goldberg leaving is not that big of a deal because Whoopi is a woman of a certain age, and she always talked about when she was on The View how she really wasn't participating on Twitter all that much, and how she wasn't really commenting, and she really wasn't responding to a lot of the fans or the hate mail and the shady stuff, because she always said, don't read the comments. And you always have the shady people that hate The View and always spell her damn name wrong. I don't know how in the history of this woman making movies, and she's been making movies for over 4 decades, y'all continue to spell that lady name Whoopie. It's always been Whoopi. Like, y'all need to get a goddamn speak and learn how to spell that lady name before y'all try to come for her. But anyway, so Whoopi and them ain't the only ones that's quitting Twitter, because apparently top execs at Twitter are jumping ship amid Elon Musk's disastrous takeover of the app. Now, according to reports, Chief Information Security Officer Leah Kisner announced their departure in a tweet on Thursday. Sources close to Twitter said Chief Compliance Officer Marianne Fogarty also resigned, as did Chief Privacy Officer Damian Kieran, per the Washington Post. Now, the employees left just after Musk, the new CEO of Twitter, sent a company-wide email that warned of difficult times ahead. He has since implemented a mandatory return-to-work policy as well. And the development has sparked concern from the Federal Trade Commission, as reported by NBC News, saying, "We are tracking recent developments at Twitter with deep concern," said an FTC spokesperson. "No CEO or company is above the law, and companies must follow our consent decrees. Our revised consent order gives us new tools to ensure compliance, and we are prepared to use them." Well, look, I've been said Elon don't know what the hell he doing. I knew the minute he walked up in there with a goddamn sink, thinking he was about some shit, that here he go flexing, looking like dumbass Donald Trump. You were just fierce in name only, but when it come down to it, y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Twitter is going down in flames. People are jumping ship. People don't want to work with him. He was firing the people that definitely do what need to be done at that place, but he thought he could just go up in there and flex, and because they convinced him to spend money that he had to borrow, by the way, to even be able to buy Twitter, because he didn't just buy it with his own money. He had to go take out loans and shit. And also, we need to point out that what's his name, Dr. Love, Mr. Love, that closet case over there at Revolt, Diddy, went and gave that heifer $10 million to help with Twitter. I don't know what he planned on doing with that. Diddy can barely keep his women in check. What makes you think he can keep Elon Musk in check? Anyway, shout out to Carisha, aka Young Miami. But anyway, so what is going to happen with the future of Twitter? I don't know. Maybe it's, I thought about leaving Twitter, but here's the gag. First of all, we live on Twitter. Hey, y'all. We live on YouTube. Live on, we're live all over the damn place. Live on Facebook, too. Twitter definitely gives me my numbers, so I can't leave Twitter just yet. So until something better comes along, we'll discuss that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. However, with this situation, I'm going to stick with Twitter. Because when I be checking my algorithms on my website, a lot of my traffic from my website comes through when I post a lot of my articles on Twitter. People are reading the articles from there, from the link, as well as Facebook. So those are my 2 top things. Also, the third would be when you go on, when you just Google my name and stuff, and it basically just comes up, and then you can just go on the website and visit the stuff. So that's basically where a lot of my traffic's coming from. I think Elon definitely needs a talking to, and he needs to really sit down and deal with some people who understand tech and get them on board to help him get Twitter back to where it needs to get on, because he doesn't know what he's doing. The whole blue checkmark thing, when you're trying to charge people $8, we see what's happening with that. People are literally buying blue check marks and sending out false information. What was the article that came out about how that insulin company lost $30 billion? Well, I found that out yesterday, that there was an insulin company, I think out of Indiana, that lost $30 billion over a fake tweet saying that insulin is free. And people believed it. Because if it got a blue check mark on Twitter, it got to be true, right? It got to be validated. It got to be accurate. I might have deleted the post, but yeah, it's just crazy how This man's like, oh yeah, just $8. Yeah, go ahead and you can do whatever you want. Like, you got people over here impersonating celebrities. Shout out to Kathy Griffin for her shady ass, which I approve her message. But all these other ones that's out impersonating LeBron James and all these other people and putting out false information, I got what Kathy was doing. What she was doing, she was trolling Elon because Elon an idiot. I don't care how much money you got. Don't necessarily mean your ass is smart. It don't. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna probably cross that bridge when I get to it. But at this point, I need to really stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out on Twitter. Cause sometimes my nosy ass, like I said, I love a train wreck. I like a car crash. So I want to sit and be there and watch the house burn down. Or will he survive the tsunami that's coming? Because this tsunami is self-inflicted. This is him doing this shit to himself. It's not like, he's based out of Florida and just a hurricane coming because it's a hurricane. Like, you literally created the hurricane. Basically. This point. So good luck, Elon, because you're going to need it. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to play our Joa's Paradise, who are the sponsors of this dear old show. So we're going to play that quick little sponsor, or as I should say, because I should be more professional, now a word from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we'll get into this Whitney Williams story. We're going to talk about Nikita Dragun, who was arrested and placed in a men's prison. We're going to talk about this debate about Luke Evans saying gay actors shouldn't play gay roles. We got some tea on Kim Zolciak, Erica Mena, and we got some milestones to hit this week with Bad Bunny and Madonna. So don't go away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and I just wanted to come online for a second to put you guys on to a new product that was sent to me from some friends of mine. So, I'm all about trying to help out and support and endorse small businesses if, it's on point. And, for me, a lot of people may not know this, but as a person of color, I've always had an issue trying to find really good hair products for someone such as myself. So then when a friend of mine came and approached me with these products, I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. Let me try it out and see what's good. And I have to say that when he sent it to me, I'm pretty much pleased with what's going on. So there's this business called Joa's Paradise, and they sent me a package of 4 different hair products. So the ones I did try this morning before I did this video, I did the pumpkin ginger spice. This is a product that I think a lot of people should try. It's definitely worth the money. It is affordable, and it's also, everything is pretty good for the hair. Like, there's no animal products and all that stuff in there. So that's what I love about it. So if you guys are interested in checking them out, definitely head over to shopjozparadise.com. That's JOOZ paradise.com. So definitely try that if you get a chance.
Damaged, dull, broken hair with no bounce or shine? Bring your hair back to life with Jo's Paradise hair care products. Jo's is fortified with all natural ingredients that will give you that growth, shine, body, and fullness that your hair needs. Known to improve any type of hair in any style and bring it back to life. Jo's Paradise will never let you down. Jo's Paradise. Our products were made to deliver.
We're back. Hi. You know what? I was about to panic. I was like, wait a minute, we playing the wrong Joel's Paradise commercial. It was the right one. It was myself, and then it was the actual thing. But bitch, can I just say, I got to get a little political for a second because I'm just happy right now because according to MSNBC, the Democrats won the Senate, bitch. So we got to give applause for that group. I am so happy. So now, can we get rid of these can we start vetoing all this bullshit the Republicans is doing up in there? Because y'all tried it. We're trying to withhold votes and this and the third. And you want to know, shout out to all of y'all that got out in droves and voted this week, particularly Gen Z, because I know a lot of y'all be hating on Gen Z. All of them, don't get me wrong, y'all do work my root canal nerve in a lot of shit. However, I do like the fact that, you know what, because of the way our tides is, you know, with things that's happening within our government, that the younger generation is like, we are from the generation where we had to do active shooting drills. We're tired of the fact that a lot of y'all in these damn red states don't want to do nothing about these these mass shootings and things of that nature. And y'all trying to come from women's uteruses and this, that, and the thing. I won't get too political, but I just love the fact that Gen Z came out in droves and was like, you know what? We're not putting up with y'all bullshit. Now, as far as Florida and Georgia goes, y'all still ain't shit based on the people y'all got in power over there. However, shout out to y'all for getting, you know, the Democrats, the blue peoples, the other blue people, not just the Navi and the Talokans, but the other blue people as of the Democrats, getting them in that position of power. Now that also means Democrats, don't just sit on y'all ass and don't be doing shit. Like really get up in there and do what needs to be done. Because these people now vote you in to not be doing y'all, to not be sitting y'all hand like, oh my God, we can't do nothing because we're being bullied. When they go low, we go high. No, you better go to hell with them heifers. Like y'all really need to put y'all foot in their ass and get shit done. But anyway, bring it back. You know, because when I go on my little political tangents, watch out, Joy Reid. I'm coming for your gig. Anyway, so let's get into this show because we're already an hour in. I feel like I'm making good time on these topics. I already got halfway through the show. We're only an hour in. But anyway, so let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? You know, I have to do that every time now. Every time I say Wendy Williams, I have to go, how you doing? I do. It's part of the show, part of the thing. It's forgiven. Anyway, so Wendy Williams may be in the process of finally getting her personal affairs in order since leaving rehab a few weeks ago, but her former financial advisor says she's been forced to hire armed guards and is living as a prisoner in her own home after she and her family have received death threats. Now, I wrote this article a week ago, but since we weren't on air, I was like, let's bring it up here. So, according to Page 6, Lori Schiller actually exclusively tells Page 6 that ever since the former daytime talk show host publicly claimed she canned the Wells Fargo advisor, she's been through hell. She said, I have 24-hour armed police officers outside of my house kind of vetting everyone that comes to my front door. It's starting to affect my life. I'm a prisoner in my own home, she tells Page 6, adding that her continued work on the account has been putting her family at risk, saying, I'm kind of living in my own personal hell here. Schiller tells Page 6 that despite Williams' claims, she was never fired, and is still the lead advisor on the account amid the talk show host's lawsuit against the bank. She said she's been having all positive conversations with Williams, with whom she was very close to for 12 years. Now, despite the public lashing from 58-year-old Williams following the Wells Fargo February claims that she needs a guardian, Schiller says that she's been lauded eternally by the bank for the work she's done to protect Williams for those who mean her financial harm, but the bank won't publicly support her. She says, all I've done was follow the law to the T, and I've been praised by Wells Fargo for all of my efforts, Schiller says, noting that the bank is footing the bill for her home security. I've given them ample time to come to my defense and make a statement but for some reason, they just are putting it to the side. Now, Schiller and her attorney, Anthony Mango, who was also present during the phone conversation, says that there is allegedly a gag order in place within the lawsuit, which has since been sealed, so she couldn't discuss specifics about the ongoing case. She did, however, note that Wells Fargo, not Schiller, pursued the guardianship over Williams because of a pattern of behavior that made issues apparent. Wells Fargo took the lead. She says, I don't think people understand the complexities of what goes on behind the scenes. It's a really bad time for guardianship, Schiller adds, alluding to Britney Spears' recent freedom from her own conservatorship. Now, Schiller explains that the Guardian, who was appointed shortly after Wells Fargo's initial firing, serves as a conduit between Wells Fargo. The Wendy Williams experienced author and has access to her money and is meant to support her livelihood, but the Guardian will object to a request that appears to be for someone exerting undue influence over Williams. While we are unable to discuss employee matters, the financial well-being of our clients is at the heart of everything we do, a spokesperson for Wells Fargo told Page Six a couple of weeks ago on a Friday. Now, Williams' former attorney LaShawn Thomas told Page Six in May that the shock job was not in agreement with the Guardian. Wendy has been very clear that she does not want a financial guardian to tell her what she can and cannot do with her money. Thomas added that Williams feels that she is capable of hiring her own team that would work for her and not the court. It goes on and on. You could definitely read the article if you want over at ChrisAvalon.com. But for the most part, we all knew that this whole situation was put in place because Wendy Williams was not of sound in mind to deal with her financial affairs. She was clearly self-medicating. We saw it, where she was a hot-ass mess. You know, we've seen the pictures every now and again where they're pretty much propping her up and showing that Wendy's good. She's a good spirit. She's ready to get back to work. She's ready to do this, that, and the third. But honestly, I feel like Wendy still needs Jesus. Not she needs Jesus, but Jesus. I looked at that picture. But I was like, Wendy, I feel like she needs to really take the time, take a couple of months to focus on getting herself together. Become of sound in mind, get her mind right, get her physical right, really get to a place where she is capable of doing a podcast, of doing all these things that she wants to do. Sometimes she want to open up a restaurant similar to Rosanna Scotto, you know, legendary New York City news reporter and personality. She wants to do a restaurant. Then if you have the ability to put a restaurant there, it's a lot of hard work, trust and believe. But she should be able to do it. Do anything she put her mind to. I'm here for it. But I need Wendy to be of sound in mind before she can make any decision about anything. And I feel like still she has these team of people that are behind her that it's like, oh yeah, Wendy, she's better. She just got out of rehab. Everything's great. Let's throw her out there to the wolves again and have her perform like a show pony. And it's like, we don't necessarily know if she's better. Excuse me, she needs to take the time to, like I said, get herself together before we can even be trying to put her in a situation. I just want her to be good. I just want her to be better. Because Wendy is someone who, like I said, I've admired. And, ooh, that's what that shit goes down the toke. But anyway, yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm drinking this American honey whiskey. While I do this show, bitch, whiskey gets me together. But anyway, I feel like, yeah, like I said before, Wendy, just get yourself together, get yourself in a place where you are good enough and strong enough to be able to conquer and come back like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Because I'm rooting for you. I definitely want you to succeed in whatever next chapter or endeavor that you have that you want to work on. I don't wish ill will on anybody. If you have the capacity or the ability to want to do something, I think everybody deserves a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a 12th chance to reinvent themselves. And I'm really rooting for her. But I just hope that those people that she has in her corner, that she has working for her, basically want the best for her as well and are not looking at her as some sort of cash grab, you know, just to keep them employed. But then, God forbid anything happen to her, then how y'all still have that coin coming in? Because once Wendy leaves this earth, because y'all don't want to keep her, you know, on that straight and narrow, y'all gonna have to find another job. So shout out to you, Wendy. I'm rooting for you. And it's crazy about the financial advisor, because she said she's receiving death threats. She's got to hire armed guards. I feel like this is crazy because I was like, damn, let me find out. Wendy got tied like Rosella Blanco, you know, the famous Colombian drug lord who, you know, is dead. I believe Jennifer Lopez was trying to do a movie based on her life. I forgot who actually ended up doing that film. But I remember Jennifer Lopez was trying to do a movie based on Griselda Blanco. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let me find out Wendy got gangster ties, because I'm like, damn, you got people out here fearing for their life. So it's sad that she has to deal with this sort of thing, but she won't take herself off the bank thingy. But if she, but I guess if she leaves, then whoever takes over the case, they gonna probably get the same type of smoke. So, Lori, I hope things work out in your favor. Wendy, good luck to you. I'll keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops. And so let's move on. So trans YouTuber Nikita Dragun, an influencer, was arrested earlier this week in Florida and was misgendered after being placed in a men's prison. Now, according to reports, officials with the Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Department, are disputing allegations that beauty influencer Nikita Dragun, a trans woman arrested in Miami earlier this week, was placed in a men's unit in jail. Now, Dragun, who was 26, who has millions of followers on YouTube and various social media platforms, was accused of creating a disturbance at a South Beach hotel, walking around its pool naked and then throwing water on a police officer on Monday. She appeared in Miami-Dade Bond Court Tuesday, where she asked Judge Mindy Glazer if she could be moved out of a men's facility. But MDCR spokesperson Juan Diaz-Granados, that's a long-ass last name, but let me do it again. MDCR spokesperson Juan Diaz-Granados said Thursday the agency wanted to push back against Dragun's allegations, which were reported in multiple national publications and created a firestorm on social media. Now, Dragun never made it beyond the booking process prior to release, therefore she was never placed in a men's unit. Diaz-Granados said, all inmates undergoing our intake process remain in an open seating, open booking area in the presence of correctional staff. Additionally, inmate Dragun was placed in a holding cell by herself due to her high-profile status before being released, and she was escorted by an LGBTQ officer during her time at the corrections facility. Diaz-Granados said MDCR is committed to protecting the rights of the transgender community and of all LGBTQ people, and said the agency has procedures in place for the appropriate intake, housing, and medical needs of transgender inmates, and we are committed to ensuring that all inmates in our custody, including transgender persons, are treated appropriately. I almost said inappropriately. Are treated appropriately throughout our intake, classification, and placement process. It might be this damn whiskey. I need to stop drinking. He said all of these procedures are followed by Dragun's bookings and release. Nikita's rep, Jack Katsoyan, told TMZ the situation with Nikita, who is legally female, being placed in a men's unit at a Florida jail is extremely disturbing and dangerous. Katsoyan continues, this decision made by the Miami-Dade County Corrections Department directly violates their protocol, which mandates that trans inmates are classified and housed based on safety needs and gender identity. Now, who do we believe this? Because Nikita's people, and Nikita is saying that she was placed in a men's facility, but the Miami-Dade peoples is saying, the corrections department is saying that they didn't do that. Who do we believe? I don't know. Nikita has had, now on one hand, I'll say this, Nikita has had a history of outing celebrities, telling stories, fibbing for attention, that sort of thing. We're not going to hold that against her in this situation. If she says that she was held in a men's facility, if her people are saying that this is what happened, then we should be inclined to believe it, correct? Unless proven otherwise. There are times where, yes, in the facility of police department, that trans people are not treated equally. I'll say in my experience, there was a time, once upon a time not long ago, I was arrested and for assault and a misdemeanor, paid the fine, did my community service. Yes, it is what it is. It happened back in the day. It's water under the bridge. But what had happened was when I went into book it, and child, this is the worst because this is on the weekend, and you know on the weekend you don't see the judge until Monday morning. So if y'all ever do anything crazy, and I'm not encouraging criminal activities, but if y'all ever do it, don't do it on the weekend because you will be there the whole weekend, child. But anyway, so what happened was I wound up going, when I went through the book and fingerprints, all that other stuff, took the picture, you know, the typical walkthrough. They asked you, because I just come from the club and I was wearing an outfit that pretty much screamed gay. They asked you, do you want to go to the regular facility or you want to go to the alternative one? Which basically meant LGBT. So I was placed in a cell with other LGBTQ people, which is what they should have did with her if they didn't know she was trans. But I'm sure, being that she's a high-profile figure and she's well-known as Nikita Dragun, they pretty much probably knew her tea already. So I don't know what to believe. I don't know. It could be, it's at this point, their word against Nikita's word. But I do know this. I'll keep abreast of the story as if it develops. I think the trans community definitely, I definitely want to hear, like, if you're a person who is transgender and has had this experience of discrimination in like going through booking or police, you know, any kind of police situation, I definitely want to hear your stories. So definitely, you know, leave that down below in the comments. So, you know, when this plays back, I definitely want to hear what you guys think of this, because this is definitely a story I think more people need to talk about. And we need to know, like, okay, that discrimination does go on not only in the police force, but in correction facilities and things of that nature. So it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. So definitely leave your comments down below. And like we said before, click like, subscribe, all that good stuff to all my social media platforms at the Chris Avalon. Little side plug. Okay, now speaking of LGBT, child, let's get into this Luke Evans story. So I know this definitely sparked a huge debate. So much of a debate that my one of my former coworkers that I worked with at AMC, Bridget, Miss Mamas, I love you, but you wrote a whole thesis on on discrimination against LGBTQ people in Hollywood on my Facebook, and I live for it. I loved it. It gave me my life, and she gave me even links to different stuff, including like a trans, like a, what was it, the Hollywood Reporter roundtable that they did with like a lot of trans celebrities and this and the other. So I loved all the links that she put into my my social media. So if y'all happen to scroll through the Facebook, the Book of Faces, you'll see all that on there. But I said this one sparked such a debate, I had to come on here and talk about it. So Luke Evans, who you know has appeared in such films as Fast and the Furious 6, Dracula Untold, and The Alienist, is weighing in on the discussion that only queer actors should play queer roles. Now, the openly gay actor who voices Scrooge in the upcoming animated Netflix film A Christmas Carol sat down for an interview with The Telegraph and was asked his thoughts on the matter. And here's what he said. He said, "Gay people have definitely missed out on gay roles for sure. I get it, but I totally think that things do need to change. But from my perspective, firstly, I wouldn't have had a career if gay people played gay roles and straight people played straight roles. I'd have played 2 roles out of the 36 projects I've worked on, or whatever the number is." It should be noted that Evans was directly responding to writer Russell T Davies, stating that when casting for the series It's a Sin, it was significantly important to cast queer actors for authenticity, saying they're not there to act gay because acting gay is a bunch of codes for performance, Davies said. Evans says that he thinks it's important for actors to be cast in roles based on talent and ability and a bit of luck and timing, saying that should be the reason why you get a job. It shouldn't have anything to do with anything else. Now, in a perfect world, I would agree with Luke, but look, here's the thing what I have to say with this. I do agree with Luke on a lot of the points that he said. You know, hooray for him that he was able to come out and be like that rare openly gay actor who could play straight and gay roles and play character actors. But here's the thing. Is Luke Evans getting leading roles? I mean, yeah, he was Dracula in Dracula Untold, but I don't know if he was necessarily out of the closet when he played that character. Like, we all knew, we all speculated. There was a point where Luke Evans at one point was starting the Taboo play, the one that Boy George did back in the day. It was like in the early 2000s, I think, or something or another. He started that, and it was short-lived, and he was out and proud and everything. Then I believe at one point he went back in the closet, and people called him out on it. So then he officially came out, and so we Owen show, I believe. He played he played Jason Statham's brother in Fast and the Furious 6 as the villain, who sort of became an anti-hero. Don't call me on the directions that the Fast and the Furious decided to take with their stuff, because it's like American Horror Story. Starts out one way and it's like and then it becomes a what the fuck. But anyway, so to me, I'm here. Look, in a perfect world, it would be great to see gay actors and straight actors playing roles that, or roles going to actors that are right for the part. But the reality is, a lot of actors who are openly gay, if they go in for a role as, say, like Captain America or James Bond or one of those roles, I don't think that openly gay actor is even going to get an opportunity to go for that part, to read for that part, which is why a lot of actors stay in the closet, because Hollywood still has this idea that they can't wrap their head around, that what I do in my personal life has nothing to do with what I do on camera. I'm an actor. I'm a performer. My job is to convince you that I can pull off this role. Just like if I was to go up for a role and play a serial killer, you wouldn't believe that I was Andrew Cunanan, right? Or Jeffrey Dahmer. You wouldn't think I was a serial killer. So if you can differentiate the fact that in real life I'm not an actual serial killer, I think y'all need to be able to differentiate the fact that, excuse me, as an openly gay actor, that I can basically act circles around that straight actor that went up for that same role. But the playing field isn't even. That's the reality. And to me, I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind if a straight actor plays gay. Like, look, like I said before, if y'all had Chris Evans up in Bros playing the lead instead of Billy Eichner, that movie might have had a chance. I might have liked it a little more. So here's the thing, America's Ass, or AKA People's Sexiest Man Alive, because that's who they chose. But this year, in case y'all didn't hear. But anyway, so to me, I'm all for if a gay actor want to go for a straight role and a straight actor want to go for a gay role, by all means, go ahead and do that. But we all know that the reality is casting directors are shady. The playing field isn't even for a lot of people. But I will say this, the roles are getting better in regards of seeing queer people on the big screen, on the small screen. I'm just saying also the audience reception is getting better, because I meant to bring this up, but I feel like it's good for this segment. When I went to go see Black Panther today, one of the coming attractions is this upcoming movie. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a holiday film. It's starring Jim Parsons and another actor, and Sally Fields in it. And Jim Parsons is in a relationship with this guy. They showed kissing in the trailer and everything. They played this during Black Panther, bitch. That's the gag. So I'm like, damn, times, they are changing. And people was like, no one was throwing shade. I didn't hear no groans. I didn't hear people making homophobic comments. Like, they was here for it. And the funny part was, this is where the funny part goes, because I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, that's cute. I might actually see that. Child, I bet you Billy Eichner about to be tight if that film make money. But it's a holiday film, so it's coming out around Christmas. So after that, the PG pops up. But it's actually for the next movie, which is Super Mario Brothers. And I overheard this little boy go, that movie's PG? So that cracked me up. Because he's like, they're showing gays and kissing stuff. That's PG? Like, you would think like that would be a little more, but it's not PG. It was for another thing. So it confused me a little bit. But I thought that was a cute moment, because that's what he responded to, rather than the fact that two guys in the movie is kissing. So look, times they are changing. I think audiences are more receptive to queer representation, queer roles. Hollywood's just running so scared on outdated ideals. I really feel like that we need to have the opportunity to open that up. But look, until the playing field is even, I feel like, look, if a gay person want to go for that gay role, if a trans person want to go for that trans role, then we need to just take on and occupy them spaces until the playing field gets even. Because one of the things I don't like, and this is the part that I should push forth on before we move on to the next topic. I'm here for, like I said, the whole whoever plays the role. What I don't like is that every time a straight person plays a gay character, a trans character, anything that they're so deemed out of who they really are in real life, Hollywood is so amazed by it that they want to give them an automatic Oscar nomination and a win, or an Emmy nomination and a win. So you're automatically rewarded for playing those roles. Whereas if a gay person comes on and plays that role, you automatically look at them, oh, it's just cosplay. Oh, they're just, that's them in real life. Like we're all monoliths. Like this is some Herschel Walker type crap. Like, you know, because you just stick somebody black out in Georgia, we automatically gonna vote for them. No matter how cooning and buffooning they are. That's not how it works within communities. Just because, you know, it's gay or it's part of the LGBT umbrella don't necessarily mean that we all relate to that. Hence why Bros flopped at the box office. A lot of us could not relate to that film. Just because gay folk in it don't necessarily automatically go gravitate to go see a movie. It's not how it is. So at the end of the day, representation matters. Diversity matters. So until Hollywood learns to wake up and diversify and come up with more shows and more concepts, we're going to keep having this conversation. So definitely I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like, what do you think about this? I definitely would like to see you drop that out in the comments. It was a lot that was put in with, you know, some people agree with what Luke said. Some people didn't agree with what Luke said. I gave you my thoughts. It'll probably change in a day or two, but for the most part, that's my thought at the moment. So definitely leave your comments down in below on this story, because I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. Okay. So let's get into this Kim Zolciak story. So before we talked about what was it? Before when we went on, we took a little hiatus last week. I told you guys that Kim Zolciak's $2.6 million mansion was going to be up for foreclosure, and on because she couldn't pay back a $300,000 loan, and that it was being auctioned off for $275,000. This was according to All About the Housewives, All About the Real Housewives, I should point out. So there was in her IG stories a video, which y'all can catch on my website, because I don't think we have it right now, where Kim was basically talking about, get a job, haters. You too can live like that. Child, first of all, how she gonna talk about get a job, haters? Bitch, you don't even have a job. So how you gonna tell us to get a job when you and your husband is unemployed? Make that make sense. Like, we are working, boo. We don't make the news. We just report what's out there. So anyway, I had to throw that in because Kim ain't the brightest. I think all that damn saline she got from all that surgery that went to her damn brain. So anyway, she was talking about, well, do you think I would let my house go up for $275,000? It's like, sweetie, it's not up to you. It's called an auction, number one. But then I had gotten word because I posted this, a segment, a clip of this, because, after I do the full show, I do edit and chop it up and chop and screw it and put it up on, so people can watch the shorter form videos. And I had someone who slid in my comments and was like that the auction was postponed. So she hasn't been evicted. They're still in the house. I don't necessarily know what's happening. Like, did she get an extension, or is it that the house is no longer hers and they're paying rent on the place? Like, they're paying like a little rent or something or another, a little money here and there to pay off whatever they need to pay off. Like, I don't know what necessarily was going on. I am trying to keep abreast of what's going on with this story. But at the moment, I have no idea what's happening with the whole thing. So yeah, she's flossing. She's talking about, I put millions of dollars into this home. First of all, sweetie, the furniture and everything about that house don't look like you put millions of dollars into that in the end of the day. I would say thousands. You probably spend more money on lottery tickets than you did on that damn furniture. So I don't believe that you put millions of dollars into that. Y'all just love throwing names around and amounts of money and cachet and all this other crap. But here's the thing. I feel like there's nothing wrong with downsizing. A lot of times, too many of these celebrities, y'all like to just jump on the line. Y'all like to floss. Y'all like to show out. Y'all want to act like, oh, I have all of this stuff, and it's so glamorous, and it's, I'm living the lavish life and the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And then we constantly hear the stories that a lot of y'all live beyond y'all means. Y'all don't have the coins to keep up with the Joneses, and you end up out here looking broke and stupid. And my thing is, there's nothing wrong with downsizing. You got 6 kids, like I stated in the last video. 2 of them are grown, so they shouldn't be living up under your damn roof. You need to tell them to get out and get a job and get a house and those other stuff. Oh, I forgot. Croy's managing them. For what, I don't know, but he's apparently managing them. The two older daughters, Ariana and Brielle, need to get up out the house and get themselves some shit on their own, stand on their own 2 damn feet. The other 4 are under a baby, so you pretty much should be raising them. Downsize, get yourself like a 3-bedroom apartment, or 3-bedroom apartment, a 3-bedroom house. There's plenty of smaller or bigger homes for smaller, or not even. They've got nice houses in certain parts of Atlanta that you can move to. I did hear she said she was gonna move to Tennessee. So I don't understand, like, why you trying to keep this house if you can't afford it, allegedly. And I feel like this ain't even about us, or it's not even about you. It's about you trying to just live, like I said, live this lavish life, live beyond your means, keep up with the Joneses. Because if you give up this house, even though you allegedly don't have the coins to keep this house where it's at, you feel like you failed. It's the same thing, we've seen this with her. We're seeing with Frederick Hall, who, by the way, I just, if y'all seen it on my website, has a new HG TV series that he's going, where they're trying to find the blingiest house in America. It's him and this other design person that does a show. Oh my God, what's her name? Because I did that article the other day. Kim Miles. And they're doing some show that's coming out next month. So if y'all can, I said, look, he got bills, child. So he got to pay off that house. He can't keep, having them squatter some big brother up in there. And then, having them just like throw some coin up in there and keep that, pay off some of the bills. So like I said, it's like, I don't understand this whole trying to live beyond y'all means thing, or trying to just floss and because I didn't have nothing, so now I gotta show y'all that I made it. And it's great. If you can afford it, then that's great. But this whole keeping up with the Joneses thing, it just don't impress me. I just think it's a bunch of BS. But I've never been one about flash and all that other stuff anyway. So good luck, Kim. But when you fall flat in your damn face, don't say I didn't tell you so. But we Virgos, we live for telling people so. Because we see the tea leaves before you ever see it. Okay, so let's get into this story about Erica Mena. So on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Erica Mena was ecstatic over her divorce being finalized from Safari Samuels, but broke down in tears when she learned that he would only be paying $4,305 a month in child support for their 2 kids. Now, this shout out to Madame Noir for this, but she said, "Are you effing kidding me?" She tearfully asked someone on the phone. Now all of this financial burden with my children is on me. It's just not fair. Like, he doesn't have to pay nothing of it. Nothing. This is effed up. When a man shows you who he is, you have to believe them, Erica advised viewers in her confessional. When anyone shows you who they are, you have to believe them. Okay, so we're going to sit up here and quote Maya Angelou. But anyway, that's the effed up ish that comes with being a woman that is so ride or die about love. She continued, ladies and gentlemen, learn from your partner before you jump ahead and fall in love with the words and all that stuff and make up the fairy tale. Because when no one's looking, that's when things go left. Maybe more importantly, the reality star explained that she's taking time to prioritize self-love towards herself in the aftermath of her and Safari's split. Now she's saying she's gonna take time to pour into her, but child, you should have been doing that from the beginning. And here's the thing: she said that he's not paying nothing. He's paying you $4,000 a month for 2 kids. That's a little over $2,000 for both. So I was at nothing. Number 2, $4,000 is a lot of money. Number 3, Erica Mena, I don't think you realize this, but I think in Atlanta, or maybe in a lot of states, but I guess particularly in Atlanta, they go based off of your income and his income. A lot of y'all be on these reality shows, like I said, with Kim Zolciak, prior story, living beyond y'all means, trying to show y'all asses, trying to show out, trying to act like y'all living this lavish lifestyle. She's talking about believing the fairy tale and this, that, and the third. Erica has been notorious, like the Evelyn Lozadas and so many of these other reality TV chicks that literally seek out these celebrity men, getting knocked up by him, marrying them. Oh, he gonna take care of me. I don't have to work a day in my life. I'll be forever taken care of with his money. Safari ain't flossing like that. A lot of this shit y'all see on reality TV is fake. I don't know why y'all buying into the BS. I really don't. But it's TV, so y'all go along with it. He also admitted that they made up that whole shit about the Lyrica Anderson A1 story. I was like, child, majority of these storylines y'all watch on Love and Hip Hop is not even real. It's all fake. A lot of it is fake as F. Y'all buy into it because it's entertainment. Like I said, it's not reality TV, it's improvised television. That's what I call it. There's a bunch of scenarios that they improvise it off of. Fake drama for ratings in a bag. But they do it because it's entertaining. Y'all like it. Y'all buy into it. So, Erica, word on the curb is you make so much money. You make so much more money than Safari, especially with your OnlyFans. Yeah, we know you got one, girl. So, clearly, the courts feel like you can handle taking care of them kids. And I think also people seem to misconstrue the fact that they think child support money is like money that's going to pay your rent. It's going to pay all these bills. And this. No, it's child support. Meaning it is to support your children. Not you. Not paying that light bill. Not paying that electric bill, not paying that rent on that house or that mortgage. I don't know what your financial status is with how you pay with the house. Is it rented or is it bought? I don't give a damn with either. But if your child support is for your kids, everything else that falls on you. So the $4,000 that Safari gonna give you a month, you pay for that on them kids. The rest of the burden will be for you and whatever you need to do. So that means you got to focus on yourself. You got to be able to pay your bills on that place you living in. And new clothes, do this, do that. You better learn how to remix and recycle. Or ask, next season, Love and Hip Hop, a bump in pay or something. Figure out something, come out with a line, do something. But I see nothing wrong with this. Like, am I bugging? Because to me, it just seemed like she whining for nothing. Like, look, you got the divorce. I thought that was Brandy for a second. You got the divorce. You should be happy with the divorce. You got out of that scot-free. You was excited. You was tap dancing over that. Like, you could have went on the Apollo with the tap dancing you was doing in the pumps over the fact that you and Safari done split. You finally put that to bed. So I don't know why you mad over this whole, child support situation. Oh, she tried something. She do look cute there though. I don't know. I don't like the short hair on her, but she looks like Brandy right there. She throwing on her Louboutins. Remember that song? So shout out to Erica Betta. Hopefully you find salvation and happiness in yourself. As you should, because girl, self-love is the best kind of love. Because like RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? Speaking of which, RuPaul has a new album coming out in January called Black Butter. I wrote that article on my website as well. I know the girls was gagging over what I said. That was like Black Butter. But we know what that means. It's coinciding with this upcoming season of Drag Race, which is probably going to come out the same damn day as the album, like the previous albums every year has. Because RuPaul just drops the album every year to coincide with the music of the show. That's why he do it. It's not even about dropping music. It's about, it's marketing for the show. So good luck, Erica Betta, like I said before. Let's move on. Speaking of music, because we were just talking about RuPaul. But let's give a huge congratulations to my second favorite reggaeton rapper, Bad Bunny, aka Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, who made history as the first Latino artist to be named Apple Music Artist of the Year for 2022. Now, for those of you who are wondering who my first favorite is, Don't hate me, but it's Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee will always be my number one. Like, I've been listening to Daddy Yankee for like over 20 years. So Daddy Yankee will always be my number one, but Bad Bunny will be my number two, because I know a lot of people hate on Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny he's just in a class by himself. He's so charismatic. I like his music. I like his swag. He's definitely someone who speaks out against LGBTQ discrimination. So that's another reason why I love him. Like, he is for the people. Whereas a lot of other artists within the reggaeton community like to play up the misogyny and the machismo and the homophobia and all that other stuff. Bad Bunny is someone who is that rare anomaly that speaks out against discrimination and that whole macho thing. So I do like that. How he likes to play with gender norms, and he's very much a Gen Z artist. So he's definitely trying to defy, you know, urban Latin hip hop music. So that's why I like Bad Bunny. So you can say his music sucks or whatever, but what he's about, I'm for. It's not always about the music for me, but the music definitely speaks to me as well. Like, I do listen to a lot of him, and I listen to a lot of Dembo too. Like the other day, I told the joke, I listen to so much Dembo, I think I'm Dominican. Like, that's just basically what it's at this point. But anyway, so the music streaming platform announced their Artist of the Year to be the global musician in acknowledgement of his artistic excellence and influence in global culture in 2022. Now, he says, when I started, I didn't have a global fan base. This is what Bad Bunny told Apple Music in an exclusive film that gets canon with the Un Verano Sinti artist. I'm like speaking my Spanish all fucked up. He said, I'm grateful for everything I've accomplished and everything I've experienced. The Latin music movement has grown so much, I would never take full credit or say it's because of me. No, it's every one of us, a whole generation. Our energy and presence is always felt. Thank you to Apple Music and to all the people who listen to my music every day. I'm super happy. Now, Oliver Schusser, Apple Vice President of Apple Music and Beats, added, in regards to Bunny's selection, we're thrilled to celebrate the achievements of Bad Bunny, whose influence on every corner of culture cannot be ignored in 2022. Watching Bad Bunny ascend from an Apple Music Up Next artist in 2018 to our Artist of the Year this year has been nothing short of extraordinary. We congratulate him on his record-breaking year and for continuing to bring Latin music to a massive global audience. Now, you know, he's worked with people like Drake, Cardi B, Party Next Door, and more. The Puerto Rican native has released Apple Music's most streamed album, Apple Music's most streamed album of 2022, and the biggest Latin album of all time, Un Verano Sinti. Undeniably, Bad Bunny, born Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, has contributed to a shift in Latin pop music over the last few years. Now, I should say some of Bad Bunny's highlights include reaching number one on the Daily Top 100 in 34 countries worldwide, having reached the Daily Top 100 in countries across the globe with 44 of his songs, and he has a lot of songs, because you know Bad Bunny basically releases music seemed like every year. He actually, I remember he released 3 albums in 1 year. Like that was the gag. I'm like, damn, he is one of the hardest working artists out right now. Like I said, he 44 of his songs have reached, and having 3 of his songs hit number 1 on the global chart, more than any other Latin artist. Now, the El Apagón artist currently holds the title of having the most first-day streams of any Latin album. Now, he has also not only made history with the music platform, he also serves as the host of Trap Kings since 2017, the first Spanish-language global radio show on Beats One Radio. So, Bad Bunny is out here definitely doing his thing. I could be no more prouder of someone who is literally one of the most hardest working Latin music artists. He has a movie where he's coming out, it's called El Diablo or something or another, that he's going to be working on for Sony. So, and I definitely, you know, even though his scene was brief, I loved him in Bullet Train. So Bad Bunny, definitely, you're conquering the music game. It'd be good to see if he can conquer the Hollywood movie world and TV if he wants to go into that. So, you know, he's definitely got that it factor. So definitely, like I said, shout out to Bad Bunny. This is all well-deserved. And, you know, I know a lot of people hate on Bad Bunny with his accolades. But like I said, I read all his accolades off. It's well-deserved. And as one of the hardest working people in this industry, he deserves it. So shout out to you, Benito. Now, another person celebrating another milestone, it'd be my girl Madonna, you know, besides her doing the foolishness with the licking water out of a damn dog bowl and all this other eccentric stuff, which I'm like, girl, you need to stop. See, this is where I get into Madonna territory, because when Madonna do stupid stuff, I like to go, "Ooh, hey, Benito, look, you looking all cute and stuff with a little braid." But but you know, a lot of time when it gets down to the point, it's like, okay, now when you start doing stupidness, then I gotta start calling her Madonna. Now, here's a little side piece. There were people within the industry that call her Madonna when Madonna got irritating. Shout out to Kevin Alliance and some of the other people, because that's when I first heard Madonna. Like, people within the entertainment, music, house, underground dance music scene used to call her Madonna. She used to hate that, by the way, but you know, I know people who knew and was in the part, so that's how I knew that line about calling her Madonna. So when she do stupid shit, I'm gonna start calling her Madonna. But today she Madonna. So anyway, so you know, time may go by so slowly for my girl, but in Madonna's case, I cannot believe that her album Confessions on a Dance Floor, which you ask the gays, is the best album of her career, turned 17 years old this week. I could have sworn the prior episode, we do another milestone where her album Erotica had a 30-year anniversary, and now here we are 17 years later celebrating the release of Confessions on the Dance Floor. Child, I feel old, because I remember going to that concert, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So the album, which has a mixture of 70s disco, 80s electropop, and French house, was produced by Madonna and Stuart Price. Mirwais was also on that album as well. It featured the huge hit Hung Up, which contained a sample of ABBA's Gimme Gimme Gimme, A Man After Midnight, a song Cher will later go on the cover. I should point out that Hung Up went to #1 in 41 countries and sold over 5 billion copies, and to think the song almost didn't happen because ABBA is known for not letting other artists sample their music. Now, in order for Madonna to clear the sample, she sent an emissary to Stockholm with a letter begging songwriters Björn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson to use the track. Nevertheless, it worked, and with Hung Up as Confessions' infectious lead single, the album would go on to sell 10 million copies, going #1 in 40 countries, and winning a Grammy for Best Electronic Dance Album. Now, let's not forget about that video, which Madonna filmed while still recovering from a horse riding accident. She would later go on to incorporate x-rays of her accident into the tour while she performed Like a Virgin. Now, speaking of which, let's get into this Confessions tour, which I should point out was my first ever Madonna concert. All I can tell you is that it was an experience like no other, and I definitely worked up a sweat dancing throughout the show, and it's not just because Madonna had the AC turned off in Madison Square Garden, where she performed that 2-hour show. Now, in 2005, Madonna said the following about the album to MTV. She said, "I feel that I just want to have fun. I want to dance. I want to feel buoyant. And I want to give other people the same feeling. There's a lot of madness in the world around us, and I want people to be happy." Now, after Hung Up, Madonna will go on to release 4 more singles, Sorry, Get Together, and Jump. And the tour will go on to gross $194.7 million worldwide with only 60 shows. Let's also not forget the cultural impact Confessions has had on Madonna's contemporaries, with albums from artists such as Kylie Minogue's Aphrodite, Nelly Furtado's Loose, Khaleesi's Flesh Tone, Robin's Body Talk trilogy, Dula Peep's Future Nostalgia, and Lady Gaga's The Fame/The Fame Monster, to name a few. Madonna is currently at work on music for her 15th album with Sick Kick, and rumor is she's going back to her dance roots. Now, I know the fans have been begging for a sequel to Confessions, and in my opinion, Madonna has pretty much dabbled in every musical genre. Even though it's not up to me, I do think that after Madam X, it is time for the Queen to get back to having fun again. And, you know, I definitely have to say that I've been living for, you know, the directions we're going with the dembow, and, you know, doing a lot of urban remixes on her past hits. But I really feel like, you know, I'm sorry, but give the gays what they want. Look, Kylie Minogue learned that lesson. She tried going off doing different things, and at the end of the day, she knew it. The gays was where the bread was buttered. Like, that's our loyal fan base. Give the gays what they want. Madonna is at a point in her career where she is 64 years old, and she doesn't need to continue to push the envelope in regards to music. Like, you already paid your dues. You're an icon. You know, you don't really need to prove anything to anybody anymore. So at this point, yeah, just give the gays what they want. They want a dance record. I know they're saying, give us Confessions on the Dance Floor Part 2. And it's like, I don't want a Part 2. I do want Madonna to give us another dance record, another house record, but give her Madonna's spin on it. It's sort of like when she did the Confessions album. It was a dance record, but it was not unlike any dance record we had heard before because Madonna put her spin on it. And you know what? Like I said, and even EJ saying in the comments, in the mess, his favorite album is Confessions on the Dance Floor. My roommate Rick told me that he was not a Madonna fan until Confessions came out. Like Confessions, I feel like is the album that really got a lot more people on board with Madonna than ever. That is the album that pretty much catapulted more people to kind of really embrace Madonna. I know everybody wants to give credit to Ray of Light because Ray of Light is the big, critical fave and all that other stuff. But for the most part, when you listen to Confessions, that's the fun dance record. I love Ray of Light because it was electronic, it was experimental, that sort of thing, and I listened to a lot of that music. Like I grew up listening to Bjork and Tricky and Massive Attack and Moloko and a lot of those underground and Portishead and who was the other one I love? Goldfrapp. Saw them in concert, absolutely loved it. Like I like a lot of electronic music, so I grew up listening to a lot of that trip hop, drum and bass, that new wave, that whole synth pop type of sound. Like that's my zhuzh. That's what I listen to all day. That and reggaeton is all I listen to. When I work out, I listen to my dembo and my dance music. So, but of course I had to revisit the Confessions album. I hate the fact like when you listen to it on Apple Music, it doesn't have like the way that the CD was, which was it was supposed to be like one full record that kind of just blends into the next song. I hate that they kind of changed that. Like it doesn't have that vibe. Like if I really want to, I have to revisit the CD and to get the intent of what Madonna wanted when she put that album together, which was it was the ebb and flow into each song. Like it was one long, like it was a whole mix, like it was one remix album, which is, a DJ mix or something or another, I guess is what you call it. So, like I said, Confessions basically got a lot of people on board with Madonna in regards of the dance music thing. So I'm like, I feel like she didn't really capitalize on that. I mean, she did, MDNA and all this stuff, but to me, when I listen to MDNA, I feel like the music on that is like dated house music. It's just like, that's an EDM music, and it felt so like Madonna was getting out of touch. Whereas she was always setting the trend, it felt like at that point she was following the trend. So I kind of need her to kind of go back into that, like bring dance music into like, what would dance music sound like in the year 3000? I mean, we'll all be dead by then, but for the most part, what would dance music sound like in the next 10, 15, 20 years? Like really push that forward and try to find people out there who are willing to kind of take it to the next level and push that envelope. So that's all I have to say. So shout out to you, Madonna. Happy 17th birthday to Confessions. And you know what? That album never gets old, except, okay, Album New York, the lyrics are cringe. And, that's not my favorite song. I love Hung Up. I love Sorry. I like Get Together. Get Together, definitely love that song. But my favorite on that album, I love Push. But my favorite that I can listen to all the time, I don't know, it just gives me all the feels, Forbidden Love. And she has 2 songs called Forbidden Love, which is the same number track, which I think is track 7. It's on that album, and then track 7 on the Body. Oh my God, what's the name of that album? The one with Take a Bow on that. How am I drawing a blank? Bedtime Stories. That's what it is. So it's track 7, coincidentally, on both those albums. But anyway, so Forbidden Love on the Confessions album, that is my song. And I feel like because I love, it's my favorite performance from the Confessions tour. And like I said, love that tour. My favorite tour. I revisit it every now and again when it's on YouTube. I watch the whole tour again. And it just seemed like it was just a fun tour. And I just had such a great time. It was a fond memory. It's the first and only Madonna tour that I've done. And I feel like, should Madonna release a new album in 2023 and goes on tour, I may have to put up some coins. I may have to sell a kidney or something to go see her. But bitch, it's about to be crowded because I was planning on giving all my money to Beyonce with this Renaissance tour. But child, Janet might be going on tour in 2023. Madonna might be going on tour in 2020. I know a lot of y'all mayonnaise Americans gonna go see Taylor Swift. Y'all can have her. But for the most part, my heart belongs to Madonna and Beyonce and Janet. Anyway, so I want to thank you all for tuning into today's episode of The Rundown. I ain't got no more something to say. I had a lot of, it was an action-packed show. It was a lot of time. And yes, I managed to get all that done in 2 hours. Maybe I should thank this goddamn American Honey Whiskey for getting me through this show. Because, bitch, I was powering through it. Come on. So, yes. Thank you all for tuning in. Tune in next week for a brand new episode. Please click like and subscribe to the show. Like I said, the likes and all that other stuff definitely helps with the algorithm for the show. So that way people can find it, people can discover it. I want to shout out to all the people that have been supporting and have been actually subscribing to the show and leaving comments about how they like what I've been talking about. So trying to give y'all something different that you're not getting from anywhere else. And, you know, there's room for all of us out here. No shade. Just saying. So anyway, once again, thank you all for watching. Love you all. And until next time, ciao, darlings. Ooh, let me drink what's left of this. Drink it, drink.